Welcome to Sticks and Skins. I'm Corey Dungan. This is Lawrence Foster, and we're back. You've missed us, and we're back. Um, so, Lawrence, what have you been up to?
I'm testing it out. We're working, so we're good. Our TikTok is up and running. We have our eBay shop up running. You notice if you haven't noticed, the title change now, cards is on there.
Yeah.
So that's our big thing this summer was we invested heavily in cards. And hopefully our passion for everything else you've seen us do is transferable to that. And you guys enjoy that like everything else we've done.
Yeah, no, shoot, right, we've invested, you more time and probably equal amounts of money into the cards, but yeah, so far, so good. It's a fun hobby, right? We love football and just another way to dive into it and, yeah,
Mhm.
even more part of our life.
Yeah, it is. It is like, we're trying to make a little extra money on it, but it is fun to open cards and look at them and see what's out there. And when you open something big, it's gives you that dopamine hit that keeps you coming back with it.
Ooh, talking about hormones. Speaking of hormones, how's your mom doing? Anyways, so she's a great lady. Um, but yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, sure, if we can make a couple dollars, it'd be fine. But ultimately, the goal for me is just have a hobby that pays for itself, which is quite rare. Video games have never done any of that. Yeah, that's just been a money pit. So maybe football cards. Although, maybe this is just the fandom gets in the way. But like whenever I open like a Jets card, Dolphins card, Pats card, I'm like, yeah, I could get a few bucks for this, but I'd much rather put it through the shredder so nobody else can have it.
Yeah. Sorry, Cole.
Yeah. Yeah. So our eBay page. So all of the cards that we're opening, that we're pulling. So SNS cards 607 is the eBay page. A lot of the stuff that we have on there now, you can see on the screen, and we've sold. We started this at the beginning of the month, and we've made probably 7, 8. I guess made is a really loose term. We're earning back what we spent.
Yeah, and what we invested.
But yeah, we sold a lot of Trevor Lawrence cards. Just in general. But as you said, just pulling cards is fun. You get because again at times like so for instance this James Cook card that I have up on the screen. That's a beautiful card, 1 of 5, and I'm like, in a way, it's like, do I really want to let it go? But so yeah. So if you all get the chance, definitely check this out. We put up new cards almost every day, at least every other day at minimum, and so usually 4 or 5 at a time. And depending on the background, you can tell whether it's Lawrence or I who put it up. But give it a check. The cards. We pull them. They go essentially right into penny sleeves, top loaders, so we protect them as soon as they come out. I wash my hands anyways. Yeah.
And Corey said we're adding things every other day minimum. In the next week or so, we're going to be having like one of our kind of features of our site is the 15 card play team packs, where if you're somebody a fan of the Colts or the Jaguars, teams that maybe not be the most popular, we're putting together 15 card packs. It's not just base cards. We have inserts in there for some of like the lesser known players that have bigger like quote unquote hits. We have orange discos mixed in with some of them. Some autos of college players who may not be first round picks, but just still an autograph. So that's kind of be like one of the things that we're trying to like set us apart from other card shops is those team packs that we're putting together.
Do we have one up now?
I can get one. Oh yes, we have one up. The Colts pack.
All right, let me find that real quick.
But if you're looking over on the screen, the right hand shoulder, all those cards, that's the put together station of these. It's a labor of love putting together these 15 pack cards.
Oh, yeah, no, that was, because, I did a lot of it here, then sent it over to you. I cannot seem to find that Colts one.
It has Richardson on the front of it within his Gators,
Right.
if that helps.
Yeah, no, I'll look for Trent, but no, because it's, you know, it is, so there are no duplicates at all. I mean, obviously there's going to be duplicates of athletes. You know, if you get a Bengals one, you're going to get probably a lot of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but
Yeah, there's not duplicates of the same exact type of card.
yeah,
For example, like if you had two Joe Burrows, you could have maybe one be a parallel, so it's this same looking card, but there's the parallel version of it. So that's a time sticking part. Like when you put your cards together, make sure they're the duplicates, and I'm mixing what I had.
yeah,
I'm making sure there's none.
yeah. So up on the screen here, we have an example of one of the team packs. So I'll just quickly bounce through the cards. So there's, you know, Anthony Richardson rookie card, Josh Downs, Jonathan Taylor, Alec Pierce, Jonathan Taylor again, Alec Pierce, Jelani Woods, Shaquille Leonard, DeForest Buckner, Pittman, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce. But as you can see, it's all, you know, 4, 5, 6 different types of Panini cards. And again, you know, as Lawrence had said, if you're a fan or you have somebody in your family who's a fan, it's one of those things where it's, you know, you go to training camp, you go and get autographs, you try to go and meet the players before or after the game. I mean, they're great for that, but just, you know, if you're not huge into cards, but you really love your team, I mean, again, I see it as a great gift, and frankly, to go and buy 15 cards of your own team, you're spending way more than
And like you saw, it's not like these are all out of one set either. Like we have a mix of Optic and Damas and Chronicles and everything.
Prism.
There's inserts in there. The rookie, they're not in the Colts uniform, but still like a Richardson in there. So those are what all our team packs feature. Is they're not the most expensive cards, obviously, but they're averaging out $1 per card when you're buying them roughly. You, like Corey said, you wouldn't be able to buy all 15 of them from, if you go to a card shop, you can't get all 15 of them for the same.
Definitely.
And we saved the time, we put them together.
And every one of them comes in a penny sleeve. Are they in top loaders too?
Not these ones. They'll come penny sleeved in a team bag in a bubble mailer, so it'll be like layers of protection on them.
Yeah. So check it out. I mean, as I said, there's only the Colts in there now because, like, well, we literally have over 100, and so, you know, 100 times 15 for those of you non-mathematicians out there.
Yeah.
1,500.
Yeah. Even like every team, like even the ones that like anybody who's into cards, like, oh, I'm going to buy like the Rams, like they're so cheap in every break you go to because there's not much. We still have at least 5 team packs of them.
Yep.
So every team is like, even if one sells out, when one sells, we're going to put up another one right after that.
Yeah. So, because I mean, frankly, the longest amount of time it takes is just to actually go and, I mean, put it together, obviously, but then having to scan them, upload the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone, you know, check it out. And if you're looking for something, let us know and we'll see if we can find it for you.
And that leads directly into, like, if you're a TikTok person, everything we post is put into video form. Well, not everything. 99% of everything is put on TikTok. So you can kind of get a quick overview if you follow our channel, which just reached over 1,000 followers this week.
Yeah, so I got that up on the screen. So TikTok, SS Cards 607. So eBay is, I believe, the same thing. But yeah, so I got the TikTok up now. As Lauren said, we just did our 1,000 follower giveaway earlier today. Gave away an autographed Eric Moulds, Jim Harbaugh, and drumroll please, Jerry Jones.
Yes, that Jerry Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're like we're we're thankful for everyone who, like Corey said, we just started this at the beginning of August, and 18 days in, we're over 1,000 followers. We have sold nearly 20 eBay things, which for somebody who's not known is pretty good. And then we won't have this up, but Instagram is close to 100 followers now.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're continuing to grow. We'll incorporate our TikTok here. Like Corey said at the beginning, we did take a break, but we are back in full force now on Tuesdays and Friday nights. One of us minimum will be here unless something drastic happens. So, yeah, like even if one of us can't be here, the other one will probably not talk as much, but at least throw up a game stream and talk with anybody who's here watching it or things like that.
Yeah, and that's it. The other thing too is we're gonna not just talk sports. I mean, even though we love that, we'll talk sports, play games, because we are super sick at that. But and even I don't think we mentioned this, but we plan on doing bigger and better giveaways for the more followers we get. So for instance, at 1,500 we're gonna essentially break open an entire blaster of Chronicles, and every card that comes out will go through, one person will win. So again, just like buying into all these breaks, maybe you get a bunch of cards and it's not, the cards aren't worth what the box that they came in, or you happen to get that 1 of 10 rookie quarterback and that card's worth $1,000. So nevertheless, I encourage you to follow us, to check us out, because you could win some cool stuff.
Yeah, and like the breaks you mentioned, that is coming to the TikTok soon as well. We're not going to be like the big breakers that have, I'm going to do 2-3 breaks a night or anything, at least to start. But we're going to have trying to do one a week between the two of us. Mm-hmm. For those who maybe don't know, like I'm on the East Coast, Corey's in kind of, I guess, central United States.
The heart of Texas.
So it's, I wasn't trying to give away a state where you live for anything.
I've already told them about Baylor.
Well, you could be like a web person. But anyway,
I don't care. Anyways.
Yeah, so like between the two of us, it's just, we try to do things like one a week, and that's why like when you see the different backgrounds and stuff, we're not like working together on this in terms of in the same place. Mm-hmm. We have a plan we put together and then kind of carry it out each on our own end. Yeah. So lots of exciting stuff happening.
Right. And I will note that Lawrence's leg is quite itchy tonight.
I just my hands.
Lawrence needs
just my hands. I'm not sounds the lamps.
I was going to say, it puts the lotions on the hands, or it gets the mute again.
But we're gonna try to do breaks. Like we're out separate. Like mine are gonna try to be on Saturdays, just because in case it takes time to break. Saturday's a good day. I will not miss football for that. But I am okay missing college football to do so.
Yeah, college football just okay. I know I offended like 1,000 people, but there's only one other person watching, so. But yeah, actually tonight, after this, we're gonna go and I'm gonna break one box of Panini Prism basketball, and then we have two blasters of Select draft picks 23. So, and then
that's over on the TikTok.
Yeah, that'll be on the TikTok, and so all of those will be up for sale on, or not all of them, any of them that are worth anything will be up for sale on the eBay page, and then after we go live, we'll make a little video and put it up on TikTok so you can see some of the better cards that got pulled.
Yep. So we've kind of expanded Sticks and Skins, which by the name of it, like imply what we said. If you watched our intro video, the SNS cards. We still do video games. We still do sports, but we also have thrown in another branch of that.
Yep.
So that leads us into like our cards are football primarily for the most part, and that's what we're most passionate about sports wise.
Yeah, no, that's the basketball products we have. I bought it today.
Yeah, I have a few cards that because I bought into a break that included NBA, I got because my football team hit an NBA thing. But before we get into that, Corey, what 2 days ago was it? Went to a baseball game. So talk about your experience there. You're not a big baseball guy, but how was your experience at the baseball game?
So yeah, I went to a Rangers game. So back in like June, I really wanted to see Ohtani play just because he's a phenom, and yeah, living near Dallas, it just seemed like the right time. So I was really hoping he wasn't going to get traded, and I was very glad when he didn't. Although the Angels suck, so for their sake, I hope he stays. I'm hoping that because they showed loyalty to him, that he'll show some back. But so we went to the game, but even prior to that, there's a Bills backers bar. Shout out to Buffalo Bros, just outside of TCU there, which was awesome. So went there, had some grub, went to the game. And Lawrence, I didn't share this bit of a detail with you because I was relatively upset that it happened. So I told everyone, I really hope Ohtani hits a home run. I would love to see him hit a home run. Well, the guy that I was with, he's like, yo, we might be a few minutes late. And I was like, don't worry, what are the odds he hits it in the first inning? Well, sure enough, we're walking into the stadium. I see, it's 1-0. Huh.
Oh, so you miss his homer. Oh, that sucks.
I had to pull it. Yeah, so I was like, what are the odds it was Ohtani hit? And sure enough, it was. And everyone's like, it was a boomer. And I watched it on my phone afterwards. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
I did not know that.
I know you didn't know that. I was so annoyed. I was like, I can't tell anyone that this happened because I was so excited to see it, and then I didn't get to. And
yeah, especially in a 2-0 game.
Oh yeah, no, the game itself, I guess my experience, I thought it was awesome. Ranger Stadium, really nice. How things are set up. We had pretty good seats. We were right near the. I don't know how left or right works. Is it based on if you're standing at the plate or you're standing at the mound?
Plate.
Okay, so then
So you're in right field. Yeah, you're in right field.
Thanks, Lawrence. But so we had pretty good seats, and the end too. The end was like probably the best part because the Angels had a no-hitter going. Texas got on base, and then they hit a ball that where we were sitting, it looked fair, but the official called it foul, and then. Then it just went downhill from there, and they lost. But it was awesome, and if it wasn't such a journey to get there, I'd probably go more often. That being said, I don't know, I guess because I don't watch baseball, I don't really have any allegiance one way or the other. And I'll tell you this, because we get so emotionally involved in Bills games, it is very nice to watch a sports game and have no emotion. I don't care who won or lost. I just want to see a player. I mean, in a way, I was glad that they won just because I had no dog in the fight against. Actually, I do. I kind of like the Blue Jays, and that was the other game I went to see over the summer on Father's Day, and the Blue Jays were up like 6-0, and they ended up losing, and it's so it's like, you know what, Rangers? Yeah, good. I'm glad you lost. Anyways, it was fun, and I would do it again.
Yeah, baseball is one of those ones that like in person is better than TV by far. And it's not like you can't consume the sport like you do other sports. Like people do. I don't know how they watch every single game every single year. I don't understand that. But it's also a sport where you can kind of watch the highlights, look at the box score, and get a pretty decent idea of how the game went. Mm-hmm. It's not like football where like, oh, the quarterback went 14-16 and they lost by 30. How does that make sense? So Yeah, so it's easier to follow along. I do think baseball has the best not daily, year-long fantasy out of all sports. It's fun to me tinker with that. But yeah, that was just a segue. I wanted to talk about that because I know you enjoyed it and you're not a baseball guy.
Yeah, no, I said it was good, and frankly, yeah, if the drive wasn't so far with this guy, I didn't get home. My house was like 11:45 at night, so if it wasn't so far, I'd go more often. But yeah, no, it was good. Would do it again.
That's the way. I live around the Tampa area. It takes about 45 minutes, and even that's do you want to go? Do I want to drive 45 minutes to go watch them?
And I'll say,
and like you said, it is fun to not be in just to watch a game and not care.
Yes. Yeah. And the pitch clock helps a ton. I mean, I know the purists complain about it, and
it does.
Because the guy that I went with, he lives and dies baseball. And he's like, yeah, I really hope they extend it for the playoffs. I'm like, I don't know, man. He's like, well, they just need a few more seconds to figure it out. I'm like, listen, they're in the pros. And if you're in the playoffs, what do you need to figure out? If you don't know already, I'm sorry, buddy. You've already failed the class.
Right.
This isn't one of those things where I read through the exam. I didn't know anything. And think about it. I bet it'll come. No, that doesn't happen. So no, I think the way it is now, I wouldn't call myself a fan, I'm a sports fan. I think it's perfect. It was 2.5 hours. It moved quickly. In part was because there was, on the Texas side, no hitting. But yeah, it was good.
So, just a second round of baseball, but football is our sport. Obviously, the Bills, if anybody's watched or knows either of us, that is the Bills. If you look at our chat box, Bills Rock 1912. Yeah, Bills Rock. So the Bills, what time is it now? It's still Friday night for both me and obviously you in Texas. So tomorrow the Bills play the Steelers, 6:30 Eastern. Josh Allen will play after sitting week 1. My only concern at all is he gets out safe and healthy. I really don't care about how the rest of how he looks.
Yeah.
Other people I care about, but Josh, just get him out and healthy. Especially, not worry about Spencer. If Watt plays, he's just gonna get wrecked by him.
Yes. Yeah.
But what do you want to see heading into Pittsburgh?
Honestly, frankly, because if you look at a lot of the starting quarterbacks who have played, they've all played, in the series or whatever they played, they've driven right down the field, they scored a touchdown, and I expect nothing less out of him. Because the players all say, they don't really watch film in the preseason, so it shouldn't be that, and obviously they haven't seen, that the offense should have changed some, so I want to see that. I want to see the offense go down and score a touchdown in the first drive. I want him to be efficient, but I think more importantly, I want to see some of the things that we've really lacked the last year. A stable run game, obviously, but things like screens and just doing different things. I mean, I guess I can't really give you a great example other than running and screens because we have been the worst screen team, and obviously our woes in the run game are well known.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go down, be efficient, score a touchdown. I mean, shoot, I don't know how much he's going to play, but if he drives them right down and they look awesome, perfect. Because you say Josh obviously, but if we lost Diggs,
yeah, that'd be bad.
That would be equally terrible.
Yeah. But there was a little bit of the glimmer of what you talked about last game, Cook and them played essentially one series.
Mm-hmm.
The first series after the Richardson pick, 3 runs, 1 penalty that negated it, but pretty good holes and running by James. I'm looking at the defense. Our middle linebacker, even McDermott said, there's room for improvement this week. And neither of them, nobody played well, middle linebacker wise. I thought Dorian Williams looked honestly the best out of all of them, but they refused to
put him in middle linebacker for some reason.
Well, wasn't Bernard hurt?
Yeah, but like Dotson played like absolute trash.
Yes.
And it's things that Tremaine did that didn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet. Like there was a couple passes over the middle where Dotson just couldn't drop back or reach it, and the quarterback knew he wasn't a threat to do that, and just right over the middle,
Yeah.
where Edmonds kind of excelled in.
Yeah, because he was like 6'5" and had really long arms and was fast.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think it's little things like that aren't going to necessarily show up on a shit stat sheet that worry me about that. And the fact that McDermott even acknowledged it in press conference this week of, we need to get better there.
Yeah, I actually talked with my wife a little bit about it, and I said, it's like, if the middle linebacker position is that much of a struggle, I wouldn't be surprised if you see us run more dime and they bring in Rapp or Hamlin, because they're just hard-hitting safeties to sort of run that area.
And it's good you mentioned Hamlin. Obviously everyone knows his story with the heart, and I felt bad last year a little bit afterwards because I railed on him the entire season. I thought he played not so great. But in the preseason game last week, he was pretty good. Very aggressive. He read things quickly. He didn't he just reacted to it. So hopefully it's easy to forget he was a rookie last year.
Actually,
So if he can grow, the only reason I know is our cards, and there's a RC on all of his cards. That's the only reason I remember.
All right, shut up.
So, but if he can continue to grow, we have Rapp, getting the middle linebacker off the field and have Milano and backs back there might be the best option.
Mm-hmm.
I also want our defense to look good against Pickett.
Yes.
Although we're going to be having a card of his coming soon that's pretty sweet. So he can suck this week and be really good the rest of the time. So his value goes up.
Right? Because, sort of like and this is, I don't think we even talked about this, but now because we're doing cards, it's sort of like fantasy football where in games you normally wouldn't have a dog in the fight. Well, now we do, and it actually makes it more fun.
Yeah, and we already know, all right, we have some Mac Jones we kind of invested in because his stock is down a little bit, even though it wouldn't be good for us if he did well as Bills fans. If he's going to do well, we might as well have something to make money off of it.
Yeah.
We invested in, so I can show it here. We have a couple of these. We invested in a couple of Desmond Ritter, PSA, gem mints. This is also for sale, but some quarterbacks that if they just improve, there's value skyrockets.
Yeah, you're right. I do think Jones is going to have a bounce back year, and I think having Brian, right, he's the OC now.
Yep.
Yeah, I think having a true offensive player again is really going to help him. They re-signed Parker. Who else did they bring in?
Juju.
Yeah.
Mike Gesicki.
Yeah. And Thornton, he'll have another year in the system. I thought he was up reach last year, but, another year.
Yeah.
He was pretty thin, so he was able to put on. Yeah, so they have potential.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. The whole AFC East, right? It's just.
Yeah. I think we have the toughest division in the league, top to bottom.
Right now, yeah.
You put New England as the quote unquote worst team in the division. They beat a lot of teams in other divisions, regardless of if they're the best or not.
Yeah. No, the AFC is still so stacked that the AFC East and West are.
Yeah.
It will be I know we said that about the AFC West last year, and obviously, we know what happened. But outside of the Raiders, I don't know. The Chargers, God, if they could ever figure it out and take that tremendous offense that they seem to typically have and do something with it.
Yeah, their defense was so bad last year, even with all the names they had.
Right? Like that was it was
Shocking.
Mack and Bosa and James and Jackson.
Yep.
Is this
So-
a podcast? Yeah, it is, in fact. It is, yeah. Talk games, cards, sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, J.C. Jackson, he's another one, right? Where, I mean, he got paid a ton of money and then he got benched. And then he
Yeah.
played again.
You forget he got benched and then he got hurt.
He got hurt.
It's like the injury kind of made you forget a little bit that, yeah, he did get benched.
Dude,
How many times that happens that someone excels in New England and goes somewhere else and go ahead, Pubix, rant.
unless it's about us, then. But if not, yeah, go right ahead, man.
We are ready to hear it.
I see a therapist, so like I'll just, I'm not a therapist.
Relay it through them.
Yeah, I'll take what I've learned. Yeah, so. Yeah, no, I do know actually. I mean, not anything so much with like with gangs per se, but yeah, no, we actually, Lawrence and I have a really close friend who just got out of jail, and he's getting his life together, but now he went down the wrong road, hung out with the wrong people, got into alcohol, drugs, things like that. But fortunately, right now he's got his life turned around. So now I guess I would suggest keep at it if you care for this person.
And snitching isn't like snitching is. Oh, I hate that term, but sometimes the best thing for people is to get snitched on, and because before they end up 6 feet under, snitching might get them the help or whatever they need to turn that corner.
100%. Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes, right, like it's when you're faced with the consequences of your actions. I mean, as you say right here, like you've been locked up. Now you know. So, I mean, I don't want anyone to go to jail, but ultimately it was to save a life. Well,
Sometimes it's the best thing for them, getting away from whatever's causing the issues. Them realizing, hey, like I'm gonna be in jail, but I'm not doing this or this or this anymore. And, give them a chance coming out.
Yeah, in jail but alive. Well,
So I hope that helped. Deadly.
Pubics.
Yeah, I think that's how I would say it as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by and hope that helps. Good luck with everything, Deadly.
Deadly.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was good. I mean, I like that.
Yeah, like whatever, if we can provide any service.
Yeah, because it reminds me of like Hamlin, right? I mean, again, his story is very well known, and that's what he got out of, what he's getting his brother out of. And shoot, I wasn't in anything like Hamlin or like Deadly here, but I didn't grow up in a great area, and yeah, I had to, in a way, drag my ass out of it. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Just sometimes hard to see it through all the darkness.
Wow, get that on a plaque and hang it on your wall.
But yeah, for real, thanks for stopping by, Deadly.
Yep.
Feel free to stop by Tuesdays and Fridays, and you can let us know how anything turns out for you.
No, I mean,
You never give up.
I was to say, because honestly, and this frankly is a pet peeve of mine. When somebody sees an issue and it's just like, well, it's not me, it's not my problem. All right, maybe it's not your problem, but it's just like, what kind of person do you want to be? Like, we all have sins, we all have skeletons in the closet. Well, if you want to atone for them, this might be the way. So now, if you feel in your heart, your spirit, and whatever you follow, I would listen to it. And yeah,
And really, when you say, like, if you can put it down to ignorance, if that's the case, then it's not his. Like, they need to be taught. So if it is ignorance, give him the knowledge he needs to turn it around.
be more or try to intercept it. Honestly, it just depends on how close you are. That sounds maybe a little cold because it is a person and it is a life and sort of against what I just said. But not like if you had just moved in and you see this person who's your neighbor who's doing all these things, maybe you don't want to interject because, again, as you already said, you've already been locked up, and do you really want to get involved to potentially go back? Probably not. But if you know them a bit and you have a rapport, I don't know. I mean, yeah, like, again, it's at some point somebody needs a champion. They need someone to stick up for, not stick up, but to be a voice in their life. And if you feel like you can be this kid's champion, although he's 19, I guess, being in my mid 30s, 19 is a kid, but at the same time, right? Technically, as far as the law is concerned, he's a grown man.
You can only do so much. Like, you can prove you can be there for him. And if you say you're going to be, like, actually do it, don't just be one of those people that says, I'll be there for you, then you don't answer when you're needed. But if you're willing to do that, just stick with it. No, it may not end the way you want it to, but if you have to look back on it in the future, you feel much better knowing you did it instead of wondering, what if I had done it and you didn't do it.
That right there, regret sucks. I hate it. So actually, I talked to my wife about this just the other day because she wants to invest in something, and I'm just like, well, do it. Maybe it'll succeed, maybe it won't. But if you don't do it, it could be 5 years, 10 years down the road, you might have some regret, and that sucks, and you can never get rid of that. But if you try it and it failed, and you give it your honest effort, at least you can say that you tried, and not everything works out. So, if you think that you might have some sort of regret if things go sideways, again, maybe that's an indication of what you should probably do.
That's the biggest thing. Is like, you talk to anybody who's like terminal, like, it's always regrets. It's, I didn't spend enough time with my family. It's not like, so, like, you may have had a great life, but people always think back on the regrets. I should have done this. So don't have those. Do what you can. Don't overextend yourself and put yourself in a bad position.
Sure.
But do what you can, and then know that you'll be able to sleep well, look at yourself, be like, I did what I could.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, Pubics, I hope this helped. Again, like, we're not therapists or anything, but it's just from a human perspective of, like, you want to help.
I don't know. When you're saying try harder, I mean, it's got to be at least a give and take a little bit. That you can only put so much effort into it.
Sure.
They have to put it in. I would say if you're comfortable with what you're doing, keep on doing it. If you feel like you can do more, then do more. You got to look at yourself and be like, what can I do without putting extra strain on my own life but still be okay with it? That's a balance. Like, without knowing you, we can't help, because for each person it's a different answer.
Right. And something I tell my daughter and my students is that I can't want it more than you. Like, I'll lead you to water, and if you need help once you get there, let me know. But you can't want it more than the other person. It has to be their own idea. They have to want to fix it. So, yeah, again, it's a lot of things, but it's, I don't know. I frankly, I really do hope it works out. 3 years. Yeah, I mean, if you feel close to this person, right? So, for instance, if it was Lawrence, I would do whatever. No, dude, for sure. Watching somebody throw their life away, it pisses you off because you're just like,
It's frustrating.
Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Like, And the older I get, and it sounds like you're likely older than this person. Um, like when I grew up, I heard the saying, the youth is wasted on the young, and in a way, that's what it is. Because as you get older, you're like, God, why is this young person doing this thing? Like, don't do that because you're going to mess up your future. And you only know that. I only know that because we did those things and we messed up our future a little bit. Fortunately, again, I have not lived a perfect life, able to get back on track. But yeah, no, I imagine that's just part of it. Like, you see the potential and you don't want it to waste it, which is why it grinds your gears.
And they don't, like, I think it is an ignorance that they don't realize they're not they're breakable to bad things can happen. You feel invincible when you're 19.
Yes.
Like there's no end in sight to what you can do.
Dude, it's, oh my gosh, such that totally, right? Like most men, and I think we're wired this way because men are the fighters, we are the ones who go to war, and you need to feel invincible. A warrior who feels like they could be killed at any moment is a terrible warrior. You want them to run into battle and do whatever they need to. But yeah, I feel like all men, and probably women too, but I'm not one, so I can't speak to it. You realize your mortality. Like for me, it was a couple of years ago. I was in like this depressed funk for months because I was just all of a sudden like, man, this whole thing could end in any minute. Like hit by a train, have a heart attack, a stroke, like anything, and it's all gone. So yeah, it's that mortality, and you hope that in a way that somebody realizes that, because I feel like once you realize that I'm not invincible, then you're like, okay, well, I got to stop doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Just hope they hit it before it gets to a point where they can't turn things around.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, not what I intended to talk about, but I'm happy to. This is awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right.
So I don't know if there's any transition from that. There shouldn't be.
No.
So if you're listening to this later, anybody, Deadly or anybody else, hope if you're finding yourself in a similar situation, maybe the words or story or something, you can find something in there to help you on your journey.
Well, I mean, I guess we talked about not opening the door again. I mean, again, at the end of the day, you gotta protect you. And if you feel like having this person in your life, if you mean like physically, like in your home, puts you at risk.
And no.
Yeah, like it's because if you've only and this is where time does matter. If it was a lifelong friend, and so for me, if it was Lawrence, even if it put me at risk, I would still do it because we've been friends for 20 plus years. But if you've been friends with him for 3 months and it puts your life, especially if you have a family, spouse, children, anything like that,
That's different.
yes, like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So I mean, again, I know we feel like we keep wavering back and forth, and that's what Lauren says, just because we don't really know each other. I say really, we don't. I don't know you at all. But it's just it's tough, and I can obviously read or see the fact that you're wavering back and forth. You want to help, but you don't know if it's going to help. But you still feel like you should, and you don't want to see him waste his life, but you don't want him to, potentially put you in a bad spot. Yeah, you're not in an easy situation, and I can't pretend like we have any perfect answers.
No, I mean, my best advice would be to have a serious conversation of this is how it's going to be. If it's not, it's going to be it. And like lay down kind of an ultimatum of if this path continues, like if you said earlier you've been locked up, like if that's going to put you in jeopardy like that, you can't do that to yourself. And that's a life lesson young people need to learn too, is it's okay to cut people out if it's bringing you down.
Healthy boundaries. My wife talks about that all the time. And again, and I see what you put in terms of he respects you, and I'm glad he does, because I also demand respect. My daughter, she's 8, and she just gives me almost none of it. So I'm glad you actually get some, but yeah, no, I mean, it's, again, I can, like, we can just keep repeating the same thing. I know it's tough. Like, I don't know this personal situation. Yeah, also that too. As long as you learn, and that's just it. So, like, in my the line of work, failure is pretty common. But you know, sort of, as you know, right? Like, if you go and you want to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So as long as you're learning from them and getting better and growing, yeah. But again, it's just, it does sound like, Dudley, that you want it more than they do it. And that's the problem. Because while that still is the case, it's real hard for someone to change. It's really hard. I mean, look at it, just take a step back. Look at like at weight loss. Like that fails so often because the trainer wants it more than the person.
You gotta have the right reasons.
Yeah.
So I mean, I still think the ultimatum is a thing. Like, be like, hey, if you're gonna keep doing this same stuff, make a mistake and then learn from it. Okay, no problem. I'll be there for you. But if you keep doing the same stuff over and over and over and ignore what I say, then you gotta be like, all right, there's nothing more I can do. If you want to change, come back to me. I'll be here for you.
Yeah. At some point, you make your bed. You're gonna have to lie in it. But all right, Dudley, yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad you're able to help you out some just talking about it. 'Cause, I mean, I don't know if you do therapy. I do. And just sometimes I go in there all pissed off and I talk for an hour and I leave. I'm like, all right, nothing was fixed, but at least I got it all off my chest and
Yeah.
I feel better.
And to somebody that's not necessarily like it's not in your life that you don't want to unload it on. So glad that we could be of help to you.
Yeah. No, it's, again, Dudley, I can't pretend like you're in easy. We're mid-30s.
I'm 37.
Yeah. So
We're both, I mean, at different levels, but Corey's an educator. I'm an educator.
yeah. So we're used to, I guess, working with students, children, and yeah.
Yeah. People who need guidance.
Yeah. In a way, this sort of feels like when Hamlin went down in the Bengals game. It's just like so heavy. It's like, all right, well, I don't really want to talk about the other sports stuff.
No, like this would be our show.
But yeah.
That's good. That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah, no,
That's good.
I'm not mad at all, Dudley. I'm glad you reached out.
Glad you found us and you were able to get yourself in a better mental spot by the sounds of it and hopefully find some clarity.
Well, again, thanks a lot, Dudley. It's getting, what is it, Foster? 12:20?
12:20.
12:20. So yes, we're probably gonna sign off.
Yeah, but Dudley will be back Tuesday.
Yeah, and you can always, I believe, send us a message or a message or whatever through Twitch if you like, or we have our eBay profile, TikTok, SNS cards 607. Feel free to reach out.
All right, for Dudley and Corey, I'm Lawrence Foster. Thank you all for stopping by. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Go Bills.
Okay.
Tuesday and when? Tuesday, what? What time, Lawrence, on Tuesday?
Any time after 8 my time.
Yeah, so around 8:30 Eastern.
Fridays are later because we do gaming with our friends who don't do this.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Dudley. Appreciate it. Hope to see you in the future.